Two countries where divorce is illegal. Divorce, also known as dissolution of marriage, is a process of terminating a marriage or marital union. Divorce usually entails the cancelling or reorganizing of the legal duties and responsibilities of marriage, thus dissolving the bonds of matrimony between a married couple under the rule of law of the particular country or state involved. Divorce laws vary considerably around the world, but in most countries, divorce requires the sanction of a court or other authority in a legal process, which may involve issues of distribution of property, child custody, spousal support, child visitation, access, parenting time, child support, and division of debt. In most countries, monogamy is required by law, so divorce allows each former partner to marry another person. Divorce is different from annulment, which declares the marriage null and void, with legal separation or de jure separation, a legal process by which a married couple may formalize a de facto separation while remaining legally married, or with the de facto separation, a process where the spouses informally stop cohabiting. Reasons for divorce vary from sexual incompatibility or lack of independence for one or both spouses to a personality clash. If you are new here, welcome. Please do well to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any of our subsequent videos. The grounds for divorce vary widely from country to country. Marriage may be seen as a contract, a status, or a combination of this. Where it is seen as a contract, the refusal or inability of one spouse to perform the obligations stipulated in the contract may constitute a ground for divorce for the other spouse. In contrast, in some countries such as Sweden, Finland, Australia, and New Zealand, divorce is purely no fault. Many jurisdictions offer both the option of a no-fault divorce as well as an unfault divorce. This is the case, for example, in many US states or the Czech Republic. Laws vary as to waiting periods before divorce is effective and applied. Also, residency requirements vary. However, issues of division of property are typically determined by the law of the jurisdiction in which the property is located. In Europe, for example, divorce laws differ from country to country, reflecting differing legal and cultural traditions. In some countries, particularly in some former communist countries, divorce can be obtained only on one single general ground of irretrievable breakdown of the marriage, or a similar formulation. Yet, what constitutes such a breakdown of the marriage is interpreted very differently from jurisdiction to the other, ranging from very liberal interpretations to quite restrictive ones. In Poland, for example, there must be an irretrievable and complete disintegration of matrimonial life, but there are many restrictions to granting a divorce. Separation constitutes a ground of divorce in some European countries. In Germany, a divorce is granted on the basis of a 1-year separation if both spouses consent, or 3-year separation if only one spouse consents. It is worth noting that separation does not necessarily mean separate residences. In some jurisdictions, living in the same household but leading a separate life, like eating, sleeping, and socializing separately, is sufficient to constitute de facto separation. Some of the effects associated with divorce include academic, behavioral, and psychological problems. Although this may not always be true, studies suggest that children from divorced families are more likely to exhibit such behavioral issues than those from non-divorced families. Watch on as we bring to you the only two countries in the world where divorce is considered illegal. Number 1. Philippines. The Philippines, officially the Republic of the Philippines, is an archipelagic country in Southeast Asia, situated in the Western Pacific Ocean, which consists of about 7,641 islands that are broadly categorized under the main geographical divisions from north to south: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The capital city of Philippines is Manila, and the most populous city is Quezon City, both within the urban area of Metro Manila. Bounded by the South China Sea to the west, the Philippines Sea to the east, and the Celebes Sea to the southwest, the Philippines shares maritime borders with Taiwan to the north, Japan to the northeast, Palau to the east, Indonesia to the south, Malaysia and Brunei to the southwest, Vietnam to the west, and China to the northwest. The Philippines' position as an island country of the Pacific Ring of Fire and close to the equator makes the country prone to earthquakes and typhoons. The country has a variety of natural resources and a globally significant level of biodiversity. The Philippines has an area of around 300,000 square kilometers, with a population of around 109 million people. As of 2020, it is the 8th most populated country in Asia and the 12th most populated country in the world. Multiple ethnicities and cultures are found throughout the islands. The Philippines is one of the only countries in the world where divorce is illegal, often trapping women in toxic marriages with no way out. According to a report published this year by the Philippine Statistics Authority, 1 in 4 married women in the Philippines have been assaulted by their partner or husband. A divorce bill was, however, passed in the country's lower house of Congress despite opposition from President Rodrigo Duterte, who also had a failed marriage. The bill allowed the court to dissolve marriages which are considered irremediably broken and for individuals to remarry a person of the opposite sex. Nearly 90% of the Philippines population identify themselves as Catholic, and the bill has now become a struggle between the majority conservative ideals and the progressive wings of the parliament. Philippine law does not provide for divorce inside the country since 1954, and it remains the only UN member state without legal provision for divorce. The only exception is concerning Muslims, who are allowed to divorce in certain circumstances according to their religion. For the majority of non-Muslims, the law only allows for annulment of marriages. The Civil Code of the Philippines asserts that it is binding upon citizens of the Philippines, even if living abroad. If a legally married Filipino citizen obtains a divorce outside of the Philippines, that divorce will not be recognized inside the Philippines. This can lead to complications when Filipinos divorce outside the Philippines. Where a non-Filipino is married to a Filipino citizen and a divorce is obtained abroad by one Filipino spouse, the Filipino spouse can remarry another Philippine law, even if the non-Filipino spouse acquired foreign citizenship after the marriage. The process of annulment is a complex and expensive one, costing around $2,800 to $3,700 or $2,400 to €3,200, which is about an average net annual salary in the Philippines. According to a survey conducted in 2017 by the social weather stations SWS, 53% of Filipinos agreed legalizing divorce, while 32% support outlawing it. Over the years, many bills have been proposed to allow divorce, for example, those by Riza Hontiveros, but none has passed both houses of Congress. Most have never even received a floor vote. President Rodrigo Duterte is against divorce. After the 2019 Philippine elections, his party's comfortable majority has ensured divorce will not be on the agenda of the 18th Congress. Number 2. The Vatican City. Vatican City, officially the Vatican City State, is the Holy See's independent city-state and enclaved within Rome, Italy. The Vatican City State, also known as the Vatican, became independent from Italy within the Lateran Treaty 1929, and it is a distinct territory under full ownership and exclusive dominion and sovereign authority and jurisdiction of the Holy See, itself a sovereign entity of international law, which maintains the city-state's temporal, diplomatic, and spiritual independence. With an area of 49 hectares and a population of about 825, it is the smallest state in the world by both area and population. As governed by the Holy See, the Vatican City-State is an ecclesiastical or sacerdotal monarchical state ruled by the Pope, who is the Bishop of Rome and head of the Catholic Church. The highest states of functionalities are all Catholic clergies of various nationalities. After the Avignon Papacy between 1309 to 1437, the popes have mainly resided at the Apostolic Palace within what is now the Vatican City, although at times residing instead in the Quirinal Palace in Rome or elsewhere. Within the Vatican City, there are religious and cultural sites such as the St. Peter's Basilica, the Sistine Chapel, and the Vatican Museums. They feature some of the world's most famous paintings and sculptures. The unique economy of Vatican City is supported financially by donations from the faithful, by the sale of postage stamps and souvenirs, fees for admissions to museums, and sales of publications. Divorce was introduced in Italy by the law of 1 December 1970, amended several times until 2015. An abrogative referendum supported by Catholic organizations and by the Vatican was defeated on 12 May 1974. A constitutional issue had been also raised about Italy's obligations under the Lateran Treaty, entered into in 1929, on whether it prohibited Italy from authorizing divorce or not. Before 1970, there was no provision for divorce in Italian law, and the difficulty of ridding oneself of an unwanted spouse in the absence of any legal way to do so was a frequent topic of drama and humor, reaching its apotheosis in 1961 film Divorce, Italian Style. Thanks for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do well to give it a thumbs up and also hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section below, subscribe to this channel, share with your friends, and turn on post notifications so you don't get to miss out on any of our subsequent videos.